Good morning, and good morning. You know, I am, let's see, it's 9:02. I tell you, I was almost at 9. But here's what happened. What happened I couldn't find my glasses. I got them. So that took me another minute. I had gone out yesterday in support, that's our word for today, in support of a friend of mine and just an area that I believe in. And so I got a chance to do that yesterday. So I said, that's our word for today. It's going to be support. How sometimes we have to be able to step out of it's not even our comfort zone, but our ability to just do for ourselves, but do for others. It's probably one of my favorite things that I learned from my parents is doing for others. Um, and there's a song that we used to sing. My mother and them used to sing it. My mother wasn't a good singer, but she used to sing it to us when we were little. It says, it's something like, what you do for others, they will do for you. With arms wide open, it'll pardon you. It's all of that. It's all of that when you decide that you're going to take on something like serving, assisting, you know, allowing others to need you and you be used for that purpose. Good morning, Joan. How you doing? How you doing? Um, we're going to make it really a cute word today. The word I think is support. I love that word because it is a word that I use often and obviously something that I love to do. But anyway, I found a poem. It's just actually a statement by A. Milne, Amilne. And you all may not even realize that you know who that author is, but um, he was born on January 18th, 1882, long before us, in London, England. And he died on January 31st, 1956, in Hartford, Hartfield, Sussex, which is England, and was an English humorist. So he was funny. And he says basically he was the originator and the immensely popular stories of Christopher Robin. Who is Christopher Robin? And his toy bear. What was his toy bear name? Winnie the Pooh. Isn't that my nickname, Winnie? Somebody gave me that years ago, and um, I started using it probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. But it was only used on a smaller scale. But people are used to it now. They say, "Hey, Winnie, Winnie," and I answer to it. So I love the name. But what he wrote here was really, really cute. It says, "No matter the day, no matter the weather, life is just better when we are together." That's just cute. There's nothing you can say about that, but it's just a cute statement. When you're helping somebody and you're being supportive and you're there for them and they're there for you can't say nothing about that but good. That's good stuff. So anyway, that's who we are today. We're going to put on our little support angle towards being like Winnie the Pooh, who was always helping in the woods. Was the 100 Acre Woods? You remember that? Was the 100 Acre Woods. So anyway, when we look at the word support, support means to give assistance to, especially it could be financial or in some other act that enables a function to be carried out. It's when we say we're helping somebody, we're aiding them, we're assisting them. I still have remnants of a cold, but I actually feel really, really good. So it's just now I think it's allergies because the pollen on my car, I wash my car, and I still feel like when I go out there, I get really stopped up. But anyway, to support really talks about giving assistance to, giving back to somebody who might have helped you. Really, it talks about being the champion on a team of other people who need your help. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you? It's good to see you in the space this morning. Today, our word is support. And see, I know something about Miss Rosie. Miss Rosie, like Joan. Joan is supportive. To all those that are probably interested in writing or poetry and reading and groups and stuff, that's Joan's, heart. And Miss Rosie is her family. She's really, really close to her family, and she likes me too. She likes me too. But anyway, so we talk about the whole idea of support. It's probably something that we do because it's innate. If we see someone in trouble or struggling of some sort, we're probably going to help them. In fact, this morning I was watching Good Morning America, and they were talking about these sorority sisters that were on their way for, I think they were going in search of some kind of biscuit, but in their process of their searching to go find this biscuit meal of some sort, they encountered a bad accident, and a woman and her children had gone over into a lake, or a river. I don't know how big the waterworks were, but they fell in, and these young ladies went in and got them. And the mother, the children, the one child was upside down and still trapped in the car and inside his car seat. He was 4. Everybody's good. Isn't that, I mean, what kind of better support is that somebody would come to your rescue? It's an awesome example of what we're talking about today. Sometimes we have to stand in the gap. If you look online, and the picture that I have is with Dr. LaSharon Wiley, and I always ask her. I asked her a long time ago. I don't ask her anymore. Can I put a picture up with mine? Because we are friends and we do things together to support each other. And I love that you can find people that will support you and you support them. So it's reciprocal. It's an opportunity to share in ideas and come out with a good outcome. That's what the point of working with other people are. So when we break the word down this morning, first, we talk about what support is. It's to champion for others, to give help to others, to be, in some instances, being favorable towards others, giving back, looking out for others beyond yourself. And when we move on and we break the word down, I'm going to ask you this morning, are you stuck? Do occasionally you get stuck with not wanting to serve, but realizing that you need to? I know for me, sometimes I'm so busy serving, and serving that I don't realize that I have to rest, which is what happened to me last week with my cold. But I didn't have COVID. So that was my wonderful, wonderful takeaway, that I didn't have COVID. I just had a cold. Excuse me. And when we break this word down today, my S is for serve. We give service to others if we want to. So we serve others, and to serve is to be a servant. It goes back through history. There's always been someone serving someone else. It's all through the Bible. It's through, ancient history within the world. It's in probably our families, or it's probably been through, what you see and you read about the historical facts of America and in Europe and China. There's always been, and sometimes forced. I'll be honest about that. It wasn't free willingness to serve. Sometimes people were forced to serve. So that made it have an ugly connotation. But to me, the idea that I speak of is to serve with want, with desire, with care, with reason, with commitment, with connection. That's what I look at serving in this instance is all about. So service is to be a servant. So that means you're going to attend to what people are doing. Oh, sacrifice. Oh, that is so good. Because we do. Sometimes you sacrifice your own time, your own, commitments, your own health, to help others, to serve. So that's very good, Joan. Thank you. So it says to be a servant also says that you will attend, you will wait on other people, you will work for other people, you will acknowledge other people. You're basically putting yourself in a situation that says, whatever you need, I'm here to help you with. you know, as a wedding planner or event planner, sometimes I am over the top, and my business is Winnie and Associates. So they said, well, where are the associates? I said, when I need them, I call on them and they come and help me. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. It's can't Sometimes you cannot do everything on your own. You cannot, as much as we'd like to. So when we move on in the word of support, my you, my Sandy's you, Winnie's you is for united. I believe when you're trying to serve, there should be a united outcome or an idea towards it, a united process, because otherwise there's, fraying in the ranks of discussions, or nothing's getting done, or people have formed, their own sidebar opinions. And so it gets to be um, overwhelming. But let's see, an understanding. Oh, that's good. We need an understanding. That's right. If you're helping with anything, you need to know. So what's the directions? What time does it start? How many are we planning for? What number of people need to be in this space, that space? How many at a table? All those things apply. So united is having a marked by agreement in feeling or action. That's what united is. So it says that basically you're looking for us to be unanimous in our approach, that there's compatibility in our approach of whatever it is that we're doing. There's a kindredness, almost like a spiritedness between us, that we know how we're feeling about what we're doing. And you want it to be where it's connected so that people feel like they're a part of what's taking place. So it also talks about being peaceful. If there's anything I don't want, if I'm doing something or I'm a part of something, if you're yelling at me, arguing with each other, chaos everywhere, I'm probably ready to say laissez-faire. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I think if you can assign it where this section, this group of people does this group of people does that, and make it where people feel like they're a part of it, but in segments a part of it. But when it comes together, it all works out. It all works out, which is what happened last night. Everything went well at the equity presentation that was done downtown, and it was just wonderful. People came from all different professions, all different, socioeconomic levels, all different, we'll even say positions of authority. But they came with the intention of talking about how is Escambia County looking in terms of what we do on an equitable basis. How are we in housing? How are we, in the number of people that are dealing with, low incomes in their households, and, age differences between what families of color are more apt to live longer or shorter lifespan based on how they're living their lives now. All those kind of things, that data was captured at the local level, the national level, and it was really good, and the state level. So all three of those were captured. So it was pretty good. So United also looks at being amicable with each other, that there's cooperation going on, and there's an agreement being formed, that there's agreeable, behaviors between all the entities, all the parts, all the moving parts, as they say. When we move further on in the word of support, we talk about, is it personal? Can you take it where you make it where there's a connection with you and what it is that you're doing? Sometimes people take things personally, but it's not at the I would say it's not at the center of where it should be, because the direction is wrong. The direction should be whatever they came together for that project, but it shouldn't be that all the me is coming out when it's really the us or the we that everyone is working on. Sometimes you have to back me up, because sometimes me wants to get in the way. We want to get in the way. So personal in this instance is talking about, are they connected for what they're supporting? And it talks about as it being gracious, friendly, easy to get along with. that kind of personal, and it says, therefore, are they pleasant? Are they cheerful? Are they nice? Are they good? All of those things. Are they gracious? All those things pretty much speak to what a personal connection to the people and the projects that are being worked on. That's what that speaks to when you're working in a support capacity. Also, in the support capacity, and moving on in that word, my second P is for pillar. I love the fact of when you look at even the pillars of a building, they stand strong, they're sturdy, they're reliable, they're capable, they're going to sustain whatever is being held up. So in this instance, it talks about as in the anchor. I used it as in the anchor. We're not the one that's leading everything, but we're a part of what is supporting the idea, the direction, the commitment. All of those says that we're in support of as the pillar of what's going on. And the pillar is something or someone to which one looks for support. So therefore you are the pillar. Let's see, I'm missing my words. Patience, plausible. Ooh, thank you so much. Those are great. Because sometimes you do have to be patient, and you do have to be plausible, because plausible. Sometimes you have to realize that it's not yours to be the lead on. You may have a section in the leading area, but you're not the lead. You're not the lead. And sometimes people can't deal with supporting something that they're not leading. I know I said it. I did. Sometimes that's the way it is, and therefore, that they cannot work well with the rest of the people, because no one is really leading. Everyone it's being a collaborative effort to get the I would say the positive outcome. That's what's being sought, a positive outcome. Let's see, what else do you have? Progression. Absolutely. There is a progressiveness to working out things that we support. And sometimes it may be that you have the littlest thing to do, but in the ultimate scheme of things, it becomes part of the maximum collection of positiveness on the other side. It just all of a sudden it's like, wow, this thing came together. This is really wonderful. And the thing about it is that when you have people working towards what I would call the good end, not only does it go well, but it goes so well that even the cleanup is well, even the aftermath is well. And what you have are, all of what I would call the flakes, the good flakes of what came out of it. You could say, wow, that really went well. That went well, So sometimes we have to be as the pillar, the anchor, the backbone, the mainstay. We're not the lead, we're the mainstay. We're the ones that can be depended on. And we might be the crutch. They leaning on us. Okay. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. And whenever I'm working with people on a project, I ask them what's their, input. And then collectively, we may be assisted by what they're saying to even tweak what we originally started with. You let people know that their value is certainly there and acknowledged and appreciated. And so you talk about them being part of this pillar that everyone is working on, this thing that's larger than one person, maybe 5 people, maybe even 20 people. It's larger than them. My O is for opportunity. Opportunity. How many of us have been given opportunity to work in or on things that we never thought we would be a part of? Sometimes I look back over my life. There you go. And it was the song saying, I think things over. And, you just realize that you were given an opportunity that not everyone was given. And what did you do with it? Did you complain? Did you rally? Did you get excited? Did you Were you a team player looking at it as a way of forward, and looking at it as an obligation? Mm-hmm. Yeah, an obligation. That means you felt obligated enough to get things done, and really opportunity says, you were given a time to come on in. You were given a chance. You were given, an opening, maybe even an interview, maybe a small period of performance, whatever it is, it was an opportunity. It was given. It wasn't it wasn't taken if you realize that the takeaway was that I wasn't leading it. Okay, so then it wasn't taken right. The opportunity is that everyone was given the same thing. Come on in, we're going to work together. And my T, my R and my T, my R is for report. Sometimes we have to report back what it is that we've learned. A report is basically the essence of what it is that we learned along the way, what we researched, what we found out, how we might be documented, where are we going to put it, who's going to hold on to it. All of those kinds of things pretty much address what needs to be there, what needs to be put out there. So I would say, looking at a report, it's going to be the research, it's going to be the recognition of what it is we found, who found it, where was it, where can we cite it at, where can we find it again. All those kinds of things are part of the report of what it is that we do with how we put things together. And to me, a really good team which is my final T, is, before I even get there, really talks about how did everybody's information all come together. That's the report. That's the report. What we do, who did it, And sometimes you have to even leave out names, because when people get caught up with their name and their name wasn't mentioned, there might have been somebody else that did something that was also equally, I would say in assistance, but no one knew it. No one understood it. Good morning, Lavender. Organization. Ooh, that's even better. That's even better than the opportunity, is organization. How was it organized? Who planned it? Did you plan it collectively, or it started with a smaller group? When I was in grad school, we used to have this thing where we had to, and there's people in your class from all over the world. And so, you would start, and we still had all of the whiteboards and all those kinds of things. And we would start with what they call, a duo, and then we go to a trio, and then we go to a quad. And then eventually we went to a super group. Well, the super group was the whole class. Well, let me tell you something. If you weren't right at the, I would even say the trio level, sometimes it's easy with two to agree. But if you start falling apart at the trio level and you get to the quad level, and the quad level gets kind of wonky, okay, you better be in full gas mask because something's going to blow by the time you get to the big super group, because you're going to find out there's going to be people that aren't working at all, but certainly will be a part of the credit. They will be part of the end. They will be part of what we did. And you find out there were only those same three. That trio that didn't fall apart were the ones that did most of the work. And you will find that if you've ever been in support of anything, you've been around it long enough, some people will take credit for the work that they never did. And they will walk away with that A that they never earned. But nonetheless, sometimes that's what happens when you have a tree that grows strong and some of the fruit that grows off was already damaged. They were damaged because they really weren't in it. They were in it for what the collective outcome was in, even though they didn't put much into the effort of being an assistant, being part of the pillar of the whole tree, and the ideas of what was to come off the tree of knowledge, and how they were putting it together. But basically, that's how it all goes. Then I experienced that. I was upset with my instructor, my professor, because excuse me, I've done. In fact, there were like two of us that did most of the work for the class on that particular course, and I tried calling him, and he kind of he didn't cuss me out, but he said, "Listen, do you not know it's 8 o'clock?" I said, "Well, I tried all the normal hours and you never answered them." So here I am at 8 o'clock at night. So anyway, I don't think he eventually. I don't think he stayed at the school long after that encounter. But eventually, I wasn't the only person that felt that there was complaints to be made. Sometimes you have to talk about how the support is coming in, even the support in this instance as a professor. How are you supporting your students? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you giving back? So my final T after my R, of course, is team. Who's a part of the team? The research must be done. That's my R. And the T is team. Research. Research and then team. You gotta write everything out. That's part of the research. But the team itself is technique. That's good. How about timeline? Have you ever worked on something and the timeline is endless? No one asks the questions. So is there an expected, projected date on when this is supposed to be done? If no one asks the question, guess what? It just goes on forever. It goes on forever. It's the same thing, even for myself, when there's projects that I know I have to do, if I don't give myself a timeline, then that means I'm not going to meet the date of when it's due. I might know that it's due, but I have to give myself triggers along the way, so by the time it's due, I have it done. To me, that makes sense. So my team is my final letter for today. And the team, of course, is a collective number of people and persons associated together in work or activity. And to me, that makes it where there has to be cooperation. There must be a relative relation between each other and a certain kind of bond. To me, that makes sense. It makes sense that when we're looking at how we put things together, how do we do it? Technique is great. Being technical, timing is important. Tacticalness is important, because I think we should be tactful with each other, but there's also a tactic of how we want to get things done. I always love on a team a person that's detailed, where they have everything. Sometimes persons that have been in military backgrounds are very, very detailed because they know the devil is in the details. What's missing, okay, or what is missing, or what needs to be pulled out is in the details of how it's written down. How is it laid out? What's the procedure? What's the process? So to me, a team needs to look at, their technique, their timing, their technical aspects of how things must be done, or tactical, and just looking at the totality of what needs to be done. How is it? And for those who saw the eclipse, the solar eclipse on Monday, they were giving you blow by blow. If you listen to them, they were saying, now it's going to see, then now you're going to do this, and as you went up, its path, and let's face it, we didn't get a good glimpse of it here. I took some pictures, but I had to delete them because none of them came out. None of them, not a one. But when I looked at what eventually would go into pure blackness, to me, every location on TV that I saw, that I was amazed. I said, can you imagine the sun, no sunlight, and it goes completely black? That was just, to me. But there was a team of people all over the country working that thing out. Everywhere you went, from one television station to another, they really put every effort into making sure that we got to see what we wanted to see was the fact that the moon was gonna shield us from seeing the sun for a while, and it was beautiful. But anyway, that's all I have for today. If you are a person who supports others and others have supported you, continue doing that. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I know I will always do that until I can't do it anymore. When I can't do it anymore, I tell people, look, my legs don't work like they used to. My head doesn't work like it used to. My hands don't work like it used to. So therefore, I'm going to give it up to somebody else, much younger, much clearer. I can't say much kinder because I'm going to always remain that. Always, always. But listen, you all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I'm going to be back on Friday, still moving along and trying to I feel good, but just sounding better. So hopefully Friday I'll have the frogginess gone and I will be back to all of Winnie, Dr. Winnie. But anyway, have a wonderful day. If you don't do anything else, hit that button. Hit the button that says that you would share this video with somebody that knows that, and they can know that somebody's out here trying to do good in the world at no cost. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you on Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye.